Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be doing the handover on the Roller Team Zefiro 696. So going down the driver's side of the vehicle, you've got your fresh water intake here, which you'd open with the round-headed key. Open up, you can lock the filler cap, and then you get a hose pipe and fill it until it overflowed, or you're happy you've got enough water on board, which you can see from the main control panel. If you were wild camping, you will have to take a full tank of water with you. If you're going to a site, take a maximum of 20 litres as it increases your payload on the vehicle and improves the fuel economy. Further down the vehicle you do have your LPG, so this is your gas locker, liquid petroleum gas. Again, it opens with the same key, so there's one key for outside, one key for the engine. And in here you can fit two 6kg gas bottles, and to attach the pigtail to the bottle, it is just a left hand thread, hand tighten and turn on and off at the top of the bottle. Make sure the bottle is securely strapped in when you are travelling and turned off, just in case if you are involved in a collision, the gas is safe. So do turn it off. Next to the gas locker you do have your electric, so this is your hooker bleed, so it's 240 volts. Lift it up, pull the lever back and slide it on, and to unhook there's a small black tab here which you push down to unhook. Always hook the vehicle up first and then your side, as we wouldn't want you walking around with a live lead in the rain. And down here you do have your waste water, so this is any water you've put down or anything you've put down a plug hole, and you simply just pull the lever, opens up, and this will deposit your waste water. So normally you would do this over a grid on the way out of the site called a motorhome service bay and drain it off. But in the winter it's very important that you drain your waste, your fresh, and you open your boiler. So I'll show you that going around the vehicle, but this is one of the points you've got to open in the winter. Coming further down the vehicle you've got your garage, again opens with the same key. So to operate these locks, once they're locked, put the key in, full turn, and then turn, and then this opens into your garage. You've got tethering points here, you've got a hook, you've got a unwinding and a rafter bar in there on your desk. And you do have your toolkit there, so it's got a jack and a torn eye in there on the other side for the Ford to change your wheel. And this is just access to the bed when the bed is raised and lowered. And at the back of the vehicle you do have your high level brake light, your built-in reverse camera, and your 4 bike rack. So you lift the arms up, pull this down, put your bike wheels on the rail and these through the spokes to tie the wheel to the rail, and use these, so first bike, second bike, third bike and fourth bike, through your crossbars to keep your bike securely on the bike rack. Then round the other side you've got another access to your garage. You've got your boiler flue here, so just make sure this is obstruction free and it just allows the fumes from the boiler out. You've got your awning, which you use your awning winding handle at the back of the vehicle and wind the awning out. Wind it out until you can reach to the front of the canopy. So probably to about there. And then you've got 2 legs situated inside the canopy, so you just put one hand at the top, one hand at the bottom, pull it towards you, slide the leg down, loosen the nut off, which are your telescopic legs, so this is where you would adjust your height of your awning. Tighten, put both legs down, and then what you can do is you can peg your feet with your pegs if you're on a grass pitch. But if you did want an air awning to increase the size of the vehicle and give you extra sheltered space, this is your C-rails. This is where your driveway kit would attach to the awning, and then that would attach onto your blow-up awning. In the wind, make sure the awning is in, because they don't mix. Anything over 15 miles an hour, you shouldn't have your awning out. And if you go to bed or you go out for the day, please make sure it's in before you leave, because you never know what the weather's going to be like, as these can cause a lot of damage to your vehicle and other people's vehicles if they're left out. But you also do have a rafter bar here as well, and this clips in here and onto the front there, and it gives it a bit extra support in the middle, so it doesn't flap about. But again, just because you put this in doesn't mean you can keep it out if the wind's strong. Then to put away, you put your legs away. Clip them in. So push. Clip them in like so. And then wind the awning in. Going back to the passenger side, you do have your toilet. So your toilet's in here. This is where your cassette lives. So you open the door, push these in, and then to get the cassette out, the cassette will only come out if the blade on the bottom of the bowl of the toilet is closed. If you lift the blue handle at the bottom here, slide it out, then to empty, you take this cap off here, take the cap off, go to your waste disposal point, which is normally beside your shower and toilet block, press the blue button, empty it out. Once you've emptied it out, if you put some water in, give it a slosh around, empty out again. Then if you are using the chemical in the liquid form, fill this cap with liquid, tip it in here, and it's good to go and be used. So you push it back into the vehicle. If not, you put a pint of water in it, push it back into the vehicle, and if you're using the tablets, drop a tablet straight into the toilet, open the blade, and it'll go into here and break down into the liquid. You also do have a handle, so you can drag around the site when full, so you're not having to carry it. And then at the passenger door, you've got your diesel filling point. Your diesel filler. It's capless with it being forward, so you just push the diesel pump in there and fill until it stops, or fill until you want to. So you put enough fuel in, and then below you do have AdBlue. So AdBlue is a exhaust treatment, with it being a compliant Euro 6D engine. It's got the AdBlue, and what you do is you take the cap off and fill it. You can fill it from the drums, or you can get it on the pump now at most petrol stations, as it's a standard thing on new diesel engines. And it'll indicate on the dash when it needs it. It's about a 20 litre tank, and it'll do about 6,000 mile, 5 to 6,000 mile on a full tank of AdBlue. So it's not like every time you put fuel in you need to put AdBlue in. It will indicate, once it indicates, if you just do fill it up as soon as possible, as if you left it too long, it'll give you a mileage countdown. Halfway through the countdown, it'll go into limp mode, so it'll protect the engine and not allow it to go over 50 miles an hour and limit your revs. If it goes completely dry of AdBlue, it will just not start, so do keep an eye on your AdBlue. You've also got your weight here on the side of the seat, so it's 3.5 tonne. If you were to put a tow bar on and tow anything, the train weight of the vehicle can't exceed 5 tonne. You've got your Ford chassis number there, and you've got your build number of the vehicle. Turn your passenger airbag off should you ever need to do it. Use the key in the side of the passenger dashboard, and you can turn it on and off there, so you can put a car seat in the front seat. And then open your bonnet. Use the key, put it in here, turn it to the left, turn it to the right, and the bonnet will pop open. And then you do have your positive for a jump start in here, so you'd put your positive jump start lead on there, and your negative just on the loop down here, so just on here on the engine hoist. You've got your coolant, got your power steering fluid, you've got your oil filler, you've got your brake fluid, and the main one you're going to need is your screen wash. And below you do have your dipstick for checking your oil levels, but your engine battery is underneath your driver's seat, as it's a Ford, so there's no battery in here. So once inside the vehicle, above your fridge is your main control panel. So you've got your on button here, which will either give you mains, electric, if you are hooked up, which will indicate here that we are. If not, it will just give you 12 volt of your leisure battery. And above that you do have battery 1, which is the truck, which shows you your Ford engine battery. And battery 2, which is like a trailer, which shows you your leisure battery reading. Above this you've got your water, so it's 66% of water on S1, which is fresh, and R2 is waste, which is 0, as I've just opened the waste outside. And down in the left hand corner you've got your thermometer, which is your temperature of the van inside. And above you've got your main master switch for all your lights, and then they all are individually switched around the vehicle. And above it you've got a light on the side of the vehicle. This is your awning light on this side of the vehicle. And you've got your tap, which is your pump, which you must have on to use your toilet, shower, kitchen tap and hand basin in the washroom. You've got your thermostat here, which detects the temperature. And then coming along you've got your Truma digital control panel. So to use this, you press and hold until you've got this screen to wake it up. Then you'd go in, so you've got a motorhome flashing with a thermometer in at the far left hand corner. This is the temperature of the vehicle, so you've got 30 degrees, so you've got all the way up to off. So we'll just say 30 degrees, and then you press enter, and it presets the heating to 30 degrees. Moving further along, you do have your water with a thermometer in, so this is your temperature of your water. So you've got off, this you'd only use off if you didn't have any water on board. You've got eco, which is heating the water at 50 degrees, hot, which is heating the water at about 70 degrees, and boost, which prioritizes the water to the heating. So if you've got your heating on, if you put this on to boost, it will knock the heating off and prioritize the water. So for this we'll just say hot. And moving along, you've got electricity marks in a gas bottle. So this is the source of what you want to heat the vehicle or water off. So you've got gas on its own, which you'd use if you're wild camping and you weren't hooked up, as you would have no other source than gas. A mixture of 1 kilowatt of electric and gas. A mixture of 2 kilowatts of electric and gas, which you'd use in the winter to heat the vehicle quicker, or the water, as you're doubling the source at the higher output. Electric on 1 kilowatt, so you'd use this abroad or on smaller CL sites, or electric on 2 kilowatts, which you'd use on most campsites around the UK, as you've paid your site fee, so you won't want to waste your gas. So for this we'll just say mix 2, because it brings the van up to temperature quicker. So you just press enter. Moving along, you've got the fan, so you've got eco and high. Eco takes a smaller feed from your 12 volt, and high takes a higher feed. So if you're wild camping, you would want to use eco because you want to preserve your power. You won't want to waste it all on a fan. Or if you're on site, you can use high, and this will. And then coming down to the bottom left hand corner, you've got a timer, so you can time the heating to come on and off should you require. And then you've got the clock, which you can set the display on the clock, so when it goes to the screen you can see the time. And you've got a spanner in the bottom corner where you can reset the boiler should you ever get an exclamation mark in here. And then your fridge below. When we're here, we may as well do your fridge. So you've got on and off here, so you can turn it off or you can turn it on. And then to change your source, so you will press and hold the square button until everything started flashing. Then you can use the arrow. So A stands for automatic energy selector, so it will automatically find the best source to power your fridge on. So at the moment I've got the gas open, but I've got the hookup on. It's automatically went to hookup because hookup, it knows that it doesn't want to waste your gas, so it's gone to electric. If I was to take the electric out, it would go to gas. If I was to start the engine, it would go to the battery setting, which is off your engine battery only, not your leisure battery. And this is designed to keep the temperature of the fridge the same when the engine was started. So if you are keeping this at home and you're lucky enough to keep it at home, hook it up a day or two before you go away, put your shopping in, and then when you are on automatic, it'll do its own thing. So as soon as you do start the engine, it will knock over to the battery. If not, you can change it manually by again pressing and holding the square button. Move it over, so there the battery, and then this is your temperature, so you just, and there it's gone to red and it's failed. This is because we are stationary on the forecourt at the moment and the engine is not running. But you can manually go over to gas again by pressing and holding, and then that is lit on gas as well. But just leave it on automatic, that's the best way. The only thing on automatic is that the fridge is programmed to wait 20 minutes before lighting on gas. So if you're going wild camping and you've turned the engine off, it will wait 20 minutes to light on gas. This is only because if you pulled into a petrol station, a filling station, and filled up with diesel, the last thing you want is the fridge to be igniting, as this can cause serious problems. So you'd have to manually switch it over to gas. You've got your freezer box, you've got your fridge, and you've got your fridge drawer there. In the winter, it's very important that part of your winterization process is to empty your fridge, clean it out, and then not to shut the door, because if you shut the door, you form an airtight seal, and that air gets trapped in there and becomes smelly and causes mold. So this little thing here, this blue handle toggle, if you pull that out, this will then stop the door from closing and allow air ventilation in and out of the fridge. So in your kitchen you do have 3 gas rings, but you will need a igniter to ignite them. So, and as you can see, they are all lit. And below you do have your small oven and grill, so you can light the grill like so. That's the grill lit. And you can light your oven like so. Do take your oven shelf out while travelling, as it can cause a bit of noise when you're on the road. And then you do have storage under here and the gas taps. So any problems with gas, always turn it off at the top of the bottle. These are mainly for when the vehicle is habitation serviced. A technician will test that the gas is working accordingly and to the correct standards that are put in place. And then you do have some storage underneath your sink. And as long as the pump's on, you'll be able to pull the water through. So, and that is getting nice and warm there now. As you can see the steam coming off, so the water's nice and warm. We have steam! And open your windows. If you press all your toggles in, push it out, and then you can tighten these knobs to keep the window out. But always make sure all your windows, skylights are fastened securely before you start travelling. And then you do have a fly screen and blackout blind on the windows as well. In the overhead kitchen cupboard, you do have your regulator for a solar panel, and it's flashing, so it means it's charging, and this will be charging your regulator, your leisure battery, sorry, from your regulator. And to operate the lights, so there's one here and there's one further back. You just press them, they are just touch lights on the ceiling. And operate your roof light, You push the button in, slide it back all the way, or you can slide it into grooves should you want a ventilation on a nice summer's day. And you do have a blackout blind and a fly screen on there. And in your washroom area, to use the toilet, press the blue button, which is your flush. So do make sure your pump's on and you'll be able to flush the toilet. And then you do have a grey lever which you'd slide to the right, and this opens the blade. So this is the blade, the trapdoor, whatever you want to call it. And this allows you waste to deposit into the cassette. If this is open, the cassette won't come out the exterior of the vehicle, so it must be shut. But to use the toilet, always use it with the blade open, flush, and then close. And then this will go red once the cassette indicates it needs to be taken out and changed and emptied. You've got toiletry cupboards underneath your sink, or your tap, some more storage in there, and then you do have your light switch just under here, and another one of these lights which you would touch to turn on. Also, when winterizing, if you do leave all your mixer taps throughout the van in the middle position open, and take your shower head off the hose, and this will stop any water getting caught in the U-bend of the shower hose and getting caught and freezing, as this would require a new hose. And your shower screen, if you always make sure that they are clipped back when you are travelling, stops it rattling around when you're on the road. You do have a towel rail here which you can use for coats. If you've been caught in the rain, put a couple of hangers on there and hang your coats up, and they can drip dry in there. And then you do have a different kind of skylight which does have a blackout blind on here. It just clips on and clips back shut. But you can push it up either one side or both together. Should the wind not be too strong, you can put it the other way. But do make sure this is closed before you start travelling. In the garage behind the panel is where your boiler lives, which is directly underneath your bed, but the only access is through the garage. So this is your frost control boiler drain. So in the winter it's very important that you drain the boiler down. This is automatic and it'll automatically drop the water 3 degrees, but I wouldn't rely on it. So to manually do it, turn the diamond so it's across the van, and the button pushes out, and this will automatically drain the water directly underneath the chassis and allow the 10 litres in the boiler to be drained out. And the diamond, the nib on the diamond pops out, and it turn and it shut, pointed towards the front and rear of the van. Push the button in, and then you can start filling the vehicle with water when you're ready to use it again. But always leave it open throughout the duration of time that the vehicle is stood during the winter. When you are ready to reuse it, put it in this position there, push the button in, fill it with water, and then what you can do is go to the cold, put the pump on, go to the cold side of the tap first. It will give you instant cold water. Go to the hot side, it will cough, splutter, make all sorts of noises as it's drawn the water from the main tank into the boiler of 10 litres. And then once you get a steady flow on one tap, do them all, and then your system is primed for the season. So underneath your travelling seats at the in the rear is your freshwater tank. So if you unloosen the red cap, it gives you access to these 2 levers which you turn to drain your fresh water. So to empty your fresh water, turn these 2 in the winter, or if you've taken on contaminated water, or if you're storing the vehicle for any length of time, do make sure that it's completely free of water, which you would turn these. And it also gives you access to the tank should you want to clean it once a season. And underneath your side facing travelling seats behind your passenger seat is where you'll find your 12 volt leisure battery. And at the front in the lounge you can make the bed below out of the table and the travelling seats like so. So your infill cushions, which were found in the garage, go here and cut into your travelling seats, and your various other backrests and seat bases go on in there. And then to drop the table down, you'd simply use this lever here, push it forward, it'll pop up, and then just push it forward, put your weight on top of the table until it clicks, and then it's locked into position. And underneath this board, underneath this cushion, you've got a small board, so where the table stops, you get the board and you place it onto the sides of the seat and the little stopper there, and that creates the bed board. To lower the bunk above the lounge, make sure the power's on and the lights are on, and then you'll be able to push the buttons. So push and hold, don't tap. And that is the bed down. And there you have a large single bed, and the light up there, you just touch this end underneath for the light to come on. To lock your door, you just lift this from the green till it shows the red, and then as soon as you go for the handle, it releases and opens. And to wind the bed up and down, there's a winding handle here in the garage which clips on to this little magnetic catch here, and then you can wind the bed up and down depending on what you've got in the garage. And then this is when this on both sides comes into play, so when the bed's down, you can shut that to stop any draft getting into the bed, but you can wind it depending on what you have in your garage area. Now in the cab area, to the right of me, you do have your folding handbrake. So you might think it's off there, it's not, because it's displaying on the dash that it's on. So you lift it up, press the button in and drop it until the light goes out like so, and then pull it up and you'll hear it ratchet. And you do have your electric windows. This locks your cab doors, so on both passenger and driver, and these are on both sides, so on here and over there. Then you do have your mirror adjustment, your lights and your headlight adjustment, your rear fogs, your wipers, your indicators, cruise and speed control here. This goes through your digital computer here, so you've got a digital speedo, your average speed, your average miles per gallon, your instant usage of fuel, your travelling times and so on, and your range to empty. You've got your volume, your skipper track or a radio channel, and your M, which changes the source. Got your heated mirrors, 6-speed manual gearbox with opening to reverse for your rear view camera to come on. You've got all your heating controls, so fan speed, recirculation, temperature, aircon, must be on at least one or more for the aircon to work, and distribution, so where you want the air to go to. Your hazard switch. Then you do have your radio, which is just FM. So you can scan for your radio channels. Once you've happy you've found them, you can press 1 to 9 to save your channels. Or if you lift here, so if you press here, there's an auxiliary in there, so you can connect a 3.5mm jack or a USB on the front of the head unit, and that would be on auxiliary, so line in, or Bluetooth audio, or you can pair your phone and just stream directly from your phone, or for hands-free, so you can press phone, OK, no phone, menu, and it says add a device, press OK, and then you'd find forward Bluetooth on your device. And then you also do have your big glove box as well. And to turn the seats, you've got your main adjustment for the driving position, and above it you do have a half bar, and this turns the seat round into the living area. If it does get stuck on the doors, just readjust the big bar for the driving position, and that'll turn both passenger and driver seats around into the rear.